Sweet. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pro NoCoders Office Hours, episode 218. I'm your host, Cameron. I am here with Brittany and Thomas. Before we get started, if this is your first time tuning in, we do office hours 6 times per week, and we invite all of our members onto Zoom so they can ask their bubble questions. We'll help answer them. Can't promise any answers, but we do promise you won't suffer alone, and we get it right most of the time. So let's go ahead and get started. And Brittany, we're going to start with you. And it looks like Ben just joined us as well. Awesome. Hey there, Ben. Welcome.
Looks like Brittany is taking care of something with her kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. No worries. Oh, I do see the chat. Okay, cool. Well, no worries, Brittany. We'll work with you. And in fact, even if you have time to type it out, we can try our hardest. But Ben, welcome. Do you have any questions?
Sure. Yeah, I got a couple.
Let's do it, man.
Cool. First question I have, I know there's I do know a roundabout way to do this, but I thought there might be an easier way to do it. So when someone is uploading, say, something new, that's not working. That doesn't help me, does it? There you go. And they put in an image, for example, that, and that is a bad example, but the image isn't cropped to the same dimensions as this. What I'm looking to do is have it actually cropped so it looks like it would look like on the page, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. You're trying to have it remain square?
Yeah, exactly. Just like it would when I process everything with ImageIX, but as an uploader, is there a way to do that?
Good question. So we're trying to basically just change the dimensions to the parent group there, is what I'm understanding.
Correct.
That is a good question. So you said that you had a sort of a roundabout way to go about that. What's your method there?
When the image is visible, then make it a image, not a uploader, and then have a button here that says edit image, and then do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's when I was first doing an application for somebody way back when they had something similar. That's the method that I went. But we're looking to have it to where when we just upload it, we don't have to do any roundabout method. We're just wanting to have that conform to the parent's dimensions. Exactly. Yeah, and there's probably, I wonder if there's a native way to do it in Bubble. I know that we could accomplish that more than likely with some CSS, but natively that would be pretty cool. So when you go ahead and do me a favor, because I just want to look at how the code is structured and the inspector element, the Chrome Web Tools.
Oh, okay.
So it just accepts it right there, and then width and height set to 100%. That's not going to help us out too much. Okay. Good question. Yeah, let's go back to the design and let's see if we can see anything there.
It is this one.
Okay, cool. And we have it fixed width at 180 by 180.
Yep. See, I thought there might have been, what would be great if there was a process within. Oh, there is.
Look at that. And so you said that you use this?
No, I've been looking for this. Like I haven't done it in a while, but maybe 2 months ago this wasn't an option.
Well, maybe that fixes it right there.
And then go. There's no stretch option though, which is a problem.
You said to fit the dimensions by cropping. And you're not really trying to crop it, are you? Oh, actually, well, I suppose you are. You want it as a square, huh?
Yeah, but I guess I could put a group around that. Let's have a look if that worked. Sorry, I need to do that on the brand. So let's go to that, and then that, then this one. That's super weird that that's coming up there because it doesn't look like the workflow is that.
No.
Okay, so
So I suppose, like you were saying, you could use a group for that and set the background to be that image that you upload and have it just fill up the entire size, resize it, and center it.
yeah,
That's the immediate solution. Yeah, not the cleanest necessarily.
no. Okay, so you recommend that's the way to go?
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. It's interesting that let's see. Trying to think because what we're using the how do you pronounce it? Imagix, Migix. How do you?
ImageX or ImGex or ImageIX. I've heard them all. So
All right, Imagix. So we want it to stretch. So there should be somewhere. We've clicked on that. We've gone to. Are we actually on the image element right now? Where were we? Where we had that dynamic choice to process it with ImageIX?
Yeah, that was inside a different one. That was inside this. Was it that one? I think it was this one. Yeah, see, dynamic image, parent groups talent. It's when it's a dynamic image that it looks like it can do it.
Because typically, from what I'm understanding, is that often there's a run mode rendering, and that may have been a depreciated function there, but I think that might apply just to the image itself. By any chance, is there, you could draw an image element just to see if this is accurate or not? Just draw an image element on the page, then set it to where it would be a dynamic processed with ImageIX, and then there may be a checkbox there to stretch it. But of course, this isn't exactly what we're looking for. I'm just curious if that's an actual thing.
Yeah, sure. So you want an image anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere.
And what do you want the dynamic image to be?
Set it to whatever image, dynamically, of course, but then process it with the ImageIX. If you have any pictures in your database.
I'm sure I do somewhere. Let's go parent groups, talents, profile image. Process with ImageIX.
Okay, see there, it looks like it applies to the image itself, where we then have the run mode rendering, because this is where we'd be able to stretch it or rescale it or do whatever.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's where we'd then be given the option to sort of manipulate its dimensions. So it sort of goes back to the idea that we would put a group over that file uploader, and then that would be the image itself, and it would show.
Okay, and then have like a button beneath that says update image, and then that.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, like edit or something, or you can just have a workflow where when you click on that image, even because Facebook, the way that they do it, or like Twitter or most, I would say at this point, they don't even have a button. You just click up over that image, and from like a UI standpoint or a UX standpoint, for that matter, don't know if you need the button. Although, of course, for clarification, sure, it makes sense. But Yeah, that's what I would do. I would have the image overlaying the file uploader. So when then you click over or when you upload the image initially, then that image then pops up. And then if you click the image again, it gives you the option to upload another image.
Okay, should we do the workflow for that?
Sure. Yeah.
So using a column layout, how would I put that over the top of this?
Well, that's when I get you a little tricky. Let's go ahead and let's see. So with the dynamic editor, I'm not super familiar, so it's going to be a learning process for both you and I right now. Curious though, if you drag that on top or in that that column near the top, what happens there? Let's say we take the parent group's talent, yeah, and drag it up there.
Just makes it last. I can make it first, but
oh, I see. Okay. And is this? It's in the column.
I have a feeling that the best thing to do would be put this element in a group and then have that group's image be the image instead of using an image.
Yeah. Are you saying like as a background image?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then make it's 180 by 180. Not 18. And then we do the same as the other one, which was image style, image. Let's see if this works. It does not.
I see that.
It
Scroll
does
down.
this option.
So it's just a little bit. It still doesn't have the runtime, does it? Oh goodness. So I guess that's the background.
Yeah, I wonder.
So it looks like it only applies, like when it renders, it only applies to an image itself, not the background image.
Yeah, weird, right?
I don't like that. I'm gonna be honest.
No.
So yeah, we have 180 by 180.
If I do this. I can't do it. Okay. That's all right. I'll have a play around with that and see. I might even be able to put an image in that group over the top of it as well.
Sort of like have them all stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, and then make some conditionals.
Yep, that is at least at its simplest, probably the route to take. We can sort of guarantee that that will work versus not having like a runtime render or anything else on background images, and makes it a little bit difficult. But yeah, that's the method that I've used in the past, and that's the method that I'd probably continue to use. But if you find a solution that is not that, I would be definitely interested in figuring that out.
I'll have a look around. I haven't been able to find anything so far, but it just seems like one of those little tiny things that probably won't get fixed anytime soon, but should be.
Yeah, there's a couple things. Like one of the things, like you can use intersect to compare list values. Like, and you can like say list one intersect with list two count is greater than one, and you can like have a conditional or like a workflow run off that. But it would be super awesome if they introduced something that was like, if this list contains any of whatever list, just for like simpler, like in terms of like syntax, just being able to write it out without having to, sort of finagle with two different list items, like taking one item that's not in a list and comparing that. I would really enjoy if they implemented something like that. And there's solutions to that. Like I said, like the intersect, but there's a couple different things I'd like Bubble to definitely add, but still works.
Cool.
Let's see. I think there may also be a plugin solution as well, though. Not super sure, but type in Croppie, Croppie.
This is something I'd like fixed.
Oh goodness, yeah, right. Takes forever. I'm glad it's not just me. I'm glad.
No.
Okay, good. Whew. Thinking about getting a new computer. As I wonder if that'll fix it. Oh.
Yeah, no, it's just I've got a brand new Mac and it's still the same.
So this might work. It looks like you're able to resize the images before they're uploaded to Bubble. So I guess like it looks like it's an image uploader. Curious though. I've never used this. I just I read something that this might be the solution.
Let's have a look.
If there's one good thing about Bubble is typically if it's not a native, or if there's not a native solution, there's always a plugin for it somewhere.
Might have to stop sharing it, saying this is making my internet unstable.
Gotcha. If you need to, not a problem. In fact, let's see. So I'll go back to. Let's see. We'll do the free version first here. Let's see what this does. And image crop, I guess. Cool. So is it a plugin? Or is it? Okay, cool. Oh, interesting. Okay, it might not. So what exactly is this here? We're able to take an image, I guess. Oh, how curious. So it's probably not exactly what you're looking for, but it is a solution that you could put on top of your image uploader so people are given a little bit more control. It looks like you're able to set the dimensions here. So viewport width, if we wanted it, this is like, I think it's 100 pixels. Yep, so it's the width and height in pixels. And then we're able to add the image and then crop it to that. Then from that point, I believe it would be a workflow. Let's see, elements. So I guess like a croppy is saved. How would this work? Is there a button that we would then save it with? So we'll say we'll create a new thing and we'll call this this will be an image, I would believe. Probably result image. So they'd be given control. They'd be like, hey, that's fine. We'll go ahead and click that. It saves it. And then in our app data, if we go to Croppy and then look at this image, okay, maybe it doesn't save as an image. Maybe it saves as a file. That'd be weird though, right? You would assume it would be an image. It probably is.
I don't think you're going to be cropping anything but an image.
Yeah, right. This would I don't expect this to work at all. But it's weird that it's breaking somewhere. And maybe that's because we are not giving it a file name. I had seen where we should, let's see. Where did I just see that? Test. Yeah, why not? We're only doing this once. What the heck? That's so strange. So it's not a file, it's not an image. Storage. Let's go to the plugin page and see. Just published a while ago, and it might not be supported anymore. Somebody up recently.
There's something else they should upgrade: the documentation on their plugin, on all plugins, like minimum requirements.
That would be absolutely amazing. Standardizing plugin uploads, making sure that there's documentation. Yep, I'm in huge agreement with you there. So it looks like add a button to browse logo images. Okay, we can browse. We added the crappy element, not a problem. So I guess you can add buttons to rotate it. Cool. Create a database record to attach image. So it is an image. Save a copy. This will the image upload to storage. Okay, so it looks like after copy is saved. Probably don't need that file there anymore. Yes. So it looks like it's a bit weird. I don't think I've seen a plugin like that before where you have to have separate workflows for it. But at the very least, this is a method to crop the image. So you'd give, in the same spot that you had it, you would just put this here instead. A user would, as demonstrated, upload the file, crop it, we'd save it, and then their image would be displayed there without having to stretch it or anything of the sort. It would be a square as we'd set it. So some kind of solution at the very least. I like this though. This is a pretty cool little plugin here. So I wonder if we would change the dimensions. So 100 likes. Let's do.
It's super interesting if it had like a minimum file size. Like this has to be, this quality to actually be uploaded.
Ooh.
So it stops users from uploading images at a low quality.
Is there any? So we have maximum, but not minimum. I guess there the difficulty lies in being able to determine a quality of an image, though, because the file size isn't normally or isn't always indicative of the quality, though. That's the thing. You can have a pretty small file. I mean, you obviously don't want people, uploading like 40 by 40 images, of course, but
yeah,
you could have it compressed where it's like only a couple megs, but it's still hundreds by hundreds. The issue then is well, is it blurry? Is it sharp? I would imagine there, like some machine learning probably could do that. I don't think that there's anything native to Bubble that's able to determine that, unfortunately. Oh, this is cool too. It looks like you have the option to. So I changed to like 100 by 400, but it looks like you also have the option to make it a circle.
Oh, cool.
Looks like I broke it, but yeah, pretty neat. Okay, cool. Sweet, man. Any other questions?
Yeah, I do have another quick one if we've got time.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to set initial content on a drop down. I'll show you. It might be the easiest way.
Yeah.
So this drop down here should have the stock orders current status. And I'm trying to put it in the default value, but I'm not sure if that's where it goes, or because whenever I put stock orders status, it just keeps telling me to do more. And I can't see something that's like display or.
Yeah, I suppose. So are you using option sets? Or I don't think you are. No, just the parent stocks. So we're looking at the parent value and putting that.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, no, I am using options. Notification status.
Oh, yes. Okay, right up there you are. The default value. So this is like when you just load into the screen, like what should display.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping to use it like you use the initial content, but I'm not sure if that's how to do it because there is no initial content on drop downs.
And if we remove the default value, then it would just be blank when we load in. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And we're looking at the parent group. What if we were to look at the option set itself, just as similar as like the option caption where we took the choices source? Yeah, if we just went and looked for an option set inside the dynamic value there and default value.
So clear this and do a search for.
Yeah, so you clear that and then let's search for the option set. Yeah. Very much doubt is going to work. I just want to see if we're getting any kind of error with that. Cool, and then get an option.
See, I find that so funny. The option set values coming up, and you can use the parent group, but you can't use the parent group, whatever their value of this is. Super weird.
Well, actually, okay, so while we're here, yeah, click on parent group stock order again for me. Well, I guess we'll start at the very beginning here.
This is what I want.
Stock order status is what we're looking for. And when we click that, nothing happens. It says that we need more. Yeah.
But I thought it might have been like a display or, first item or something like that, but that's just not.
Okay, yeah, pretty interesting. Go ahead and get rid of the orders detail stock order status. So it's just parent groups. And if we click out of that, it's still asking for more, correct?
Yeah.
I wonder what it's expecting. We have 330 issues is the issue. So we can't tell at quick glance what the issue is for this value. But it does give us the option set. So if we click, let's say the default value is open in this case, would it not give us an error? Like it's expecting that display or that value from the option set?
No, it would just wouldn't give you an error, but it would just continue to change this to open on an order form.
Like if we selected default value open?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
The only other thing I can think of is to do a search for orders and find this order and then try and to the option.
Yeah, let's send it. Let's see what happens.
Like, it seems like such a pain though.
When I first started bubbling, I did a lot of do searches for, and then I put all the constraints in. And I never noticed that when you selected the default value, like in this case, the default value has the open, close, delete, and so on. When I first started, I had no idea you could select those things. So I always did the do searches for and then pulled the information from that. So I had a high rate of success with that. I would hope that the same would apply to this. A little, tedious, I guess, but fingers crossed here.
I guess this is where the unique ID equals this group's unique ID. I guess.
So this drop down the unique ID that we're looking for. So yeah, we are looking for the parent group's unique ID if we're going to be referencing the parent group.
Yeah. Come on. Okay.
This is a list. There's multiple items. Search for site details. And so the first item isn't always the item that we're dealing with, correct?
Well, there should only be one, so I don't know why there's multiples there.
Go ahead and select first item. Cool.
No, same thing.
And I guess it's looking for, well, that would make sense. It's looking for like a list. So let's get rid of first item. And I wouldn't expect this to work, but I'm curious what it's looking for. So let's get rid of first item and then just do what we had after this. Search for stock order details, and then each item's status, I guess. No, it's saying that you need more too. What?
Yeah. I'm glad this one isn't me, just me.
Yeah, we've done the two things that would make the most sense, right? And it's still not working. Okay, let me see 1 second here. Current. So let's instead of doing each items again, let's do search for stock orders details first item, then stock order status. Let's try that out. And then scroll down a little bit. Let's see, is there? Let's do an extract. No, we're just giving. Oh no, it's not going to be extract. Okay.
I wonder if
I think it's. I honestly think it's because the default value is looking for a text value, and we're not passing it a text value.
I just wonder if it could be stock order details status.
It is a text value.
Just a text, and it's not a list of text, it's just a singular.
Now on the drop down though, the type of choices, it's not set as text, so that might be one of the reasons that we're running into this. So if you go back to your drop down there on the tab.
So I need to change this to the option set. That's what it is.
I'm under the belief that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll go back and have a play, figure out best way to do that then. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I wish Bubble knew. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was driving me a little bit nuts. So that's good to know.
I just wish Bubble could read. I'm waiting for Elon Musk's Neuralink so Bubble can read my mind. I'm waiting one day. You know, they have like those applications, like I guess you can draw on the page, or like you can scan in something or whatever, and it looks at the boxes on the page and it creates a website out of that. Like, that's crazy. One day
Surely it wouldn't be much though.
Oh yeah, it's not like super intricate or anything. It's meant for like easy landing pages, I guess. But I imagine one day in the future, you'll just be able to imagine it, and then it'll just like populate on the screen, and everything will be like flawless. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic, but until then, we have to read Bubbles' mind. Sweet. Any other questions? Because I think Thomas is just here to chill. Unless Thomas, you have any questions?
No, I'm just chilling, man.
All right, cool.
No, that's all I've really got. I mean, we could if you've got time, have a play with Chart.js if you want.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm here to dance. Let's do it.
Do you want to drive?
Yeah. So, what do you exactly want me to do here? What are we working with?
Chart.js. So,
Or do you mind showing me first, and then?
yeah. So just say, for example, if we go here, defining some inputs to make this better. So like maybe it's how many new talents there are or across, days of the week or weeks or something like that. Just I got it basically because it looks a lot better than other chart functions, but I haven't done much more than that. So I thought that could be something interesting.
Sure. Are you using the plugin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and see. Go ahead and shit, I'm gonna be completely honest. I hate charts, but we're here to do it. It might be better for you to do it just because I don't have a lot of data, but we can just go ahead and plug in some stuff, I guess. But
No, I'll do it. That's cool. I'll share my screen again.
okay, cool. Yeah, since you have the data on your app, we can sort of mess around with that.
So let's go to the dashboard that we've been building. I really wish we could make these alphabetical. I'll show you though. Let's go this one.
Okay, so the x-axis, we have a set with just the days. These are static.
Yeah. So when x-axis is obviously this one along the bottom. So if we can make those like days this week, I guess, or weeks this month, or something like that.
Sure. It looks like you can make it dynamic. You just have to pass in a list, basically, a comma separated list.
Okay. So we would go dynamic.
Yeah. So if we wanted to, our x-axis just basically, from what I'm understanding here, just needs to be a list. So we could put that as anything. Just make sure that it. And one of the things that we could do is pass in even just a string of text and then split it with commas. So there's two ways to go about it, actually passing in a list or creating a list dynamically right there in that dynamic spot.
Okay, so I don't know why I did parent group. It doesn't particularly matter. We're going to be doing a search anyway. But come on, Bubble. Bye, Thomas.
See you guys.
Have a good one, man.
All right, cool. So you would come in here, click in here, and do. This is just running way too slow, isn't it?
In my experience, so Chrome, I love Chrome. I love the extensions. I love so when you say ecosystem with all your Google accounts and so on, but it is a RAM hog. It kills all of the RAM. I use Brave. Brave is built off of Chrome, but it is just optimized so much better. You don't use nearly half, if even a quarter, of the RAM that Chrome would use. So definitely, yeah, I'd explore that in the future. But in the meantime, so we're getting the talent here. when it wants to.
Okay, so
So we are basically, I mean, we can limit it as well, because it depends on how much talent you have. So if we're passing in each item, you could have like 50 different talents, and that's a really big x-axis that might be squashed a little bit. But I would do items until number, let's say 7 in this case. So we'll have 7 different bars there.
well, I'm just trying to get like 7 here, but 7 dates. So the dates are the last 7 weeks, maybe on the Monday.
Okay, so we're trying to pull in dates.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just let's see. Where do you store these dates? Are we creating these dates ourselves?
Yeah, created on would be the date.
Okay. Well, creating an arbitrary date time. See, you could have like a workflow that runs recursively on every Monday or something of the sort that then incrementally increases the dates that we store, and we could then pull that information into this x-axis value. So we could have a workflow start and it runs 5 times, and it basically just, or 7 times in this case, and it creates the dates. And then on Monday, it'll erase the dates that it is, and it'll do that same workflow starting at the new current date, and it'll just increment that date, well, weekly in this case. So that's if we're passing in dates, that's what I do. So it would be a new record type, more than likely called dates, in which case, or whatever you're comfortable calling it. But and then inside that record, we would then put, let's say, the date text and then the date number, perhaps.
Gotcha. Okay. There's a tutorial. Maybe I should watch a tutorial first on because the actual documentation on Chart.js is really, really, really good. Yeah, I'll have a look and see how they did it, because I'm not sure about if you can just pull in dates. There's some sort of formula that they did on it.
Yeah, it looks like it says that down there. You can't have any additional commas. It has to be just, well, the comma that would exist would be the separator. So you don't want it to be in between the day and the year in this case.
So you just do formatted as, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you could have it formatted, a custom format.
Yeah.
MMDDYYYY or something like that. There is a particular formula that I'm pretty sure removes the comma.
Is that just some HTML or like a HTML element?
Nope, it's going to be a dynamic, so like a dynamic text in this case. If we were to put it on, I'm going to do it on my screen real quick if I can. Let's see. So we'll do current date time, and we're able to format it. And so there's, let's see, looks like all these ones have commas. Let's do a custom. Let's do month, day, y. So if we don't specify the commas, then it's going to pull in like this. And if we do specify the commas, it's going to, do exactly what we're telling it to. But if we're not including the commas, we could just pull in or pass in rather the data here as this custom format. It'll be right there. So we'll go ahead and preview this. And it would be just like that. The cool thing about this as well is we can actually specify, if we don't want it numerical, we just add an extra N here. And so now it actually is the word. Or if we wanted abbreviated, 3 M's. Yeah, I love what they've done, Bubble, what they've done with their date and time formatting, because it is awesome when you're dealing with APIs that pass in data in a certain way and everything else in between it. It makes it super, super awesome to be able to just do this. Now, one of the issues here is that this isn't going to be recognized as a date and time. This is a text now, so it evaluates to a text. Fortunately, this is exactly what we want for the charts, because it passes in, it's looking for a string. So just keep that in mind, though, if you are dealing with anything in the future where it's requesting a date but in a certain format, you're going to run into an issue where if you do want to modify it in a certain way, it's going to pass in through a text. But Yeah, so it's pretty simple to actually just pull the date like this.
Cool. All right. I'll have a look into this further. Um,
Tanya has a video in her vault that I looked at a lot when I was first starting, actually. But she goes through how to actually increment the date and time in a repeating workflow and a recursive workflow. And you can have that recursive workflow, like I said earlier, just do it once a week on Monday nights or Sunday nights or whatever it is. So every single day or every single Sunday night, it then pulls the next, let's say, like 5 weeks or 7 days or whatever we have set up. And so that's definitely something to play with. But so what you want to pass in, like for charts, you want to display information, just all kinds of information, right? What exactly are you looking to do?
It's going to be various. It's going to be like number of new Twitter followers, or, and then it could be number of new records in our database, or it could be various things. I just thought, honestly, charts is just a really solid visual way to kind of show people how things are going.
Yeah, absolutely. Charts are awesome. There's also, and not nearly as awesome, but just like if we're getting away, if we want to use charts, yes, let's definitely pursue that and use the X and Y axis or axes and do that. But one of the ways that I was introduced from a UI UX standpoint, this was like 2020, early 2021, instead of charts, doing big cards with big numbers on them. And the reason for that is just like, I'm not a UI UX expert, but the way it was described to me is that people see big numbers in a very simple fashion or a simple form, and they're able to dedicate more time and energy to that. Not that a chart's a bad idea or a bad way of displaying information. But when we get to, I guess, just a user standpoint, a casual user standpoint, people like seeing big, bold numbers there. And then underneath, let's say they gain 20 followers. So they have a big 20 in green or something like that. And then underneath that, you would show the percentage change from last month or something of the sort. Now, again, don't want to take away from the idea of using charts for sure. Just want to like give you a sort of little bit of just, I guess, my creative opinion, I suppose.
UX psychology.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it could be interesting to have both. There's no reason why you couldn't.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which would be super interesting. I had another question on something else.
Yeah.
How much, like, my app's running really slow. I need to convert things to reusables big time. But how much processing power or does it take? Do you think it's worthwhile cleaning up things that aren't being used, like especially plugins that I don't use that I've got in there?
Sure. A lot of the things that run in the background, a lot of JavaScript and big images in particular, if they're loading in the background. So your plugins that automatically load in the header or things of that nature, it can slow your application down. Mm-hmm. It depends on how often you use them and what you're comfortable with removing. But like you had said, putting things in reusable elements is probably going to just speed up your app and, just more than probably removing plugins and so on. But from a technical standpoint, yes, having unnecessary JavaScript loading in the background is going to slow down your application. And typically these plugins, they load in the header or they load their scripts in, and it can definitely impact your performance.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the way reusables essentially speed it up is because it's not running things on the page that it doesn't need to. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're only running when they do need to run, basically. When they're present, that's when they'll actually be using power or processing power.
Gotcha. Cool.
I'm building I'm almost done actually with doing the form builder that I told you about last time. And I'm using a reusable element. And I think I had told you last time I had started several months ago and I got caught up in work. And so I started from scratch on this new one. But I can say already using a reusable element versus just having everything in a repeating group and then calling that repeating group and copying and pasting as well. It's already increased or improved my performance significantly, like by a factor of at least 5. So I would recommend reusable elements. I know Tanya loves them. They're super awesome. They're super powerful for sure.
And it really speeds it up by that much.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. Yep. So previously on the form builder that I had without a reusable element, if I had like 10 questions and I added a new question, it would think about it for about a second or two. Now it doesn't even think about it at all. Just bam, and it loads really, really fast. And that's just a small example. I'm sure there's other people with better examples, but from my personal experience, yeah, reusable elements, they do speed things up pretty significantly. And I know Tanya would chime in and say that's true. Yeah, she loves them.
Oh yeah, recursive workflows and reusable elements. The song of Tonya.
Yeah, you can't forget option sets, but yeah.
Yeah. Option sets, yeah.
Those three things, those are the pillars of Tanya for sure. But yeah, so that's what I'd recommend. And it can take a little bit of time to actually convert everything to a reusable element, but it is worth it in the end.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll start playing with that as well then.
Wicked, dude. Yeah, definitely do that. Anything
And
else by any chance that you want to ask or poke my brain with?
no, that's all I've really got today.
All right, dude. Cool. Well, no worries. I'm gonna go ahead and do the wrap up here, and we'll stop recording. Just want to say, of course, thanks everybody for tuning in to Office Hours. Really appreciate you for showing up. We are going to stop Office Hours. We are going to move into our after Office Hours that you can join if you are a member of Pro No Coders. Thank you all, and until next time.